Hey everybody, this video is going to be one of a handful of videos that are all about MLA and MLA format and MLA citations and in-text citations and all of that good stuff. So this is about formatting your document to get ready to write your research paper. So this video is particularly for people using the desktop app for Word, and that's different from the online version of Word. So the way to tell if you are accessing Word as a desktop app or the online version, if I am looking at my screen here, you can see that the first place that I might find the Word icon, which is the W with the blue square, is down in the ribbon at the bottom. So there's mine. That's where mine happens to be on my desktop. The other place that you might see it is listed over here in the icons on the left-hand side of your screen. If there's the W with the blue block, that's a desktop app for Word. Now, if you're looking and you don't see it on either place and you are on a Windows-based machine, click your window down at the bottom and scroll down to the W's, and you can see there's mine. So if you are going into a Word document using any of those ways, then you are using a desktop app for Word. As a college English teacher, I highly recommend the desktop app for Word because it is more user-friendly and easier to navigate than the online version of Word. So I'm going to open up a document, or open up Word, and I'm going to choose a blank document because we're going to start fresh from scratch. Now, one of the things you want to make sure is that you can see your ribbon of options at the top. If you log in and it looks like this and you can't see your ribbon, just click on the home button. And then you want to come over here to that right-hand side and click that pin button. That'll keep your ribbon visible. That's what you want. So we're going to start off with margins, font, and spacing. All right, so first thing that you want to do is look at the layout. So you click on the layout tab, ribbon tab at the top, and then you go to margins. Now, if you look at it, normally Word is already set to what MLA wants, which is 1-inch margins all the way around, but you need to double check it to make sure that that's where it is. So it should say normal, and it'll say top 1 inch, bottom 1 inch, left 1 inch, right 1 inch. You want everything to be 1-inch margins. So we're good here. Then we can go to the home button. Most of your instructors are probably going to want you to write in Times New Roman. So you're going to need to change your font because Word's default is Calibri. So you can choose Times New Roman and you need to make that size 12. Don't try to make it 12 and a half, 13, 14. If we're comparing a paper to all of the other papers that we're reading, we can tell. So don't do that. All right, so we've got it set to Times New Roman 12. Now we want to check the spacing. Now the best thing to do is pull up the place where you can look at all of your line spacing options. And so you could go here and click on 2.0, right? And that's going to set it. But Word's default has a couple of different settings that you kind of want to change. So what I recommend doing is going down here to line spacing options. That way we can fix everything. So when you're looking at what pops up, one of the things that you will notice is where it says spacing, which is what we're looking at now, it says before and after. That means every time you hit enter, it wants to know if you want to add spaces, additional lines of space between your lines when you hit enter. The problem is that MLA does not want that setting, and the default setting for Word is before and after, set at 0 for before, but 8 for after. That leaves an extra gap of space between your paragraphs. Every time you hit enter, it adds an extra line of space. You need to take that down from 8 points to 0. That's really important because of the way that Word is set up as a default. Then for line spacing, where it says multiple, we just want it to be double spaced. So we just hit double. Then you can hit set as default, and that should reset so that when you come in and you open up a new document, this setting is here. We want this to be 0. So hit set as default for this document or all documents. That's up to you. I'm just going to do it for this document. Okay, so now I have this formatted. So let's get the header for MLA in the top left-hand side. So first thing that you do is type your name. So I'm going to put student name. Your name goes first there. Next line down, hit enter. type in your instructor's name. So if your instructor is a doctor, make sure that you use that doctor here. If your instructor is not a doctor, using Mr. or Ms. is totally fine. So I'm going to use Ms. and I'll just use my name. Then you hit enter and you need your class with the class number and your section number. So I'm just going to use one of mine. English is the acronym. Make sure that you use all caps if you are using your course code. Then it is English 111. Let's say that. And then I'm going to pick the section that I am registered for. So I'm in WB 31. Okay, so that's your section number. When your instructor is getting hundreds of papers in at the same time, if you just put English 111, I have no idea what class you're in. So it's much better to go ahead and put your section number there. Hit enter, and then we want the date. But MLA writes the date in a weird way. We do the day, spell out the month, and then the year. So today we'll say is 8. We use 2 digits for the day. So if you are in day 1 to 9, you put a 0 first. If you're in 10 to the rest of the month, then you're fine. But this is the 8th, so we put 08, then we're going to spell out the month, no abbreviations here, and then the year. Okay? Then hit enter one more time, and you have to put a title on this next line. So for now, since I don't have a title, I'm just going to put my title here. And I'm going to use title casing. That means that you capitalize the first word, last word, and all the content words in the middle. Content words are words usually 3 or more letters, but it would exclude general like prepositions, articles, a, an, and the, conjunctions, stuff like that. But otherwise, you need to give your title capital letters. When you hit enter, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so it looks more normal. Your title is going to need to be centered. So highlight it, go up here to where it says paragraph, right in the middle. First is left align, that's what we've been writing in. Now we want centered. There we go. And this page, the content-wise, is set up. So now this is where I would just start writing the paragraphs for my essay. The only other thing that you need to do is you need to put your page numbers with your last name in the top right header section. This is where students always mess up. You don't want to go to insert a header, because really what you're not inserting a header, you're just trying to use the header space. What you are inserting is page numbers. So when you go to the Insert tab at the top, you are not going to go to Insert a Header. Don't do that. It will screw it up and it will not look right. Go to Insert Page Number. And when you click on that, MLA says we want it in the top of the page and we want it on the right-hand side. So this doesn't work because it's on the left. That's centered. That's right. So plain number 3. And it's automatically going to populate for you. All you have to do is type your last name and a space. So this would be student last name, maybe I better make that last name, and a space. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. Double click back on your paper. Now that's going to show up and it will automatically take care of your page numbers for any additional pages. While we are here, let's go ahead and set up your works cited page, because I can tell you right now if you don't have one of those and if it's not right, the essay isn't going to pass. So down here, this is where I'm going to type my essay, right? Essay goes here. When I get to the last line, instead of hitting enter until you get to the next page, do not do that. When you do that, it creates a bunch of empty lines of space. The problem with that is when you go back to edit your paper, when you add sentences, when you take sentences out, when you move things around, your whole works cited page is going up and down and up and down. You don't want it to do that. Your works cited, the words works cited, need to be on the top line of that last page. So the way to make sure that it always shows up in the right space is not to hit enter. You need to insert a page break. So you go to the Insert tab, just like you did for inserting your page numbers, and instead you go to Page Break. See, it's over here on the left-hand side. There's cover page. MLA doesn't use those. Blank page, we don't want that. We want a page break. So you hit Page Break, and it's automatically going to bump you down to the top line of the next page. You just type in works, plural, cited, past tense, and hit enter, and then you're going to center that. Enter. There you go. It's all set up. All you have to do now is start your actual paper. Hope this is helpful, and I will see you back hopefully for more videos on how to create your works cited pages and how to do your MLA in-text citations correctly. Have a good day.